My name is Pat Meyer, and a few years ago I thought that things weren't right in the United States for workers, and so we started a small group in Kalamazoo. Thousands have worked with us now, and we're real proud of that. I particularly like the speech makers here today that said something I believe in. Go to your churches, go to your city meetings, write a letter. And what I did in the last 3 years was really pretty terrible. I went to the United States Congress and the Senate, and I saw how dirty it was up there. But we still keep coming. And so to help out the auto industry, I became a whistleblower against General Motors on March 2nd, 2007. Yeah. It's in the Internal Revenue books. I have a case number. And it's not an I here today, it's all of us. And if you don't get together, and you don't leave here today and do what the gentleman said, go to public meetings and get active, we're going to lose really tough and hard now. Do you understand that? Now, if any of you can't do anything else, we wrote a book. We wrote a couple of them to tell you what to do. The UAW leadership didn't want us to put it out there. General Motors calls me the White Witch, and I love it. Today on the lines, a young man came down and said, "Are you the woman that did this to General Motors?" And I said, "I am the one." But I'm not the only one. It's all of you here. So you can't back off. But there's something that somebody keeps forgetting about this country and your union leadership. I worked with the FFL-CIO, I've worked with the Teamsters, and I get better reception than I do with the UAW leadership. You are the union. We are the union. At least we forget this. And what you need to do is get out and get active. Take the retirees. There's 650,000 of them out there now, just in the auto industry. Go talk to them. Go to a meeting. And when the shop chairman says you can't go and talk to those people, you go anyway. Does that make any sense? We have a website. The last book was about the Hill and how dirty it was and how the politics and politicians did it to you. And the one speaker talked about the president. And he talked about the Hill and your senators and congressmen. In the state of Michigan, Debbie Stabenow gets on, she's been a real problem for me, and says General Motors will not go into Chapter 11, and they did. And they did know about Delphi, and they did know about American Axle, because we were on those lines. And you know who the biggest enemy that day was? The UAW leadership, past performing board members who said she doesn't know what she's talking about. Gentlemen and ladies, and friends and children here today, it's up to you. You are the ones that have to make the difference. So if you can pass the word along, if you get to your retirees or the people, your neighbors, and you write that letter, 44, 46 cents, write it anyway. Go out and do what you have to do for this country. And about being in the public eye, go there. Disappointed in numbers today, but not disappointed in what we did here today. You never can give up, can you?
No,
okay,
never.
Don't give up then, all right? So go and do what our retirees have done for 15 years against that corporation called General Motors, who took your jobs and your technology and your manufacturing offshore. At the Auto Workers Review, our group was blessed with having 70% of the auto owners check questions asked at that bailout meeting. I sat behind Mr. Gettlefinger, exciting. Nardelli, he's the hedge funds man, you know, came out of Home Depot. Do your work on these guys. They're not really that much. But the man who came up was Mullally and said, "We're so glad to see you people from Michigan here. Go where you have to go, take the message where you have to know, and know that these guys aren't going to change." And so therefore, you can do it through retirees, you can get on the website, you can blog, and we have one of those too. And if you're interested, my 3 years on the Hill have been a real drag because they lie. It's all political. They had a cover-up. They could have maybe saved some of the American Axle if they listened. They didn't intend to. The gentleman who spoke over there, I really respect your speech, sir, because it is that they have to get out with the community. And it is in the churches, and it is in writing that letter. And you can't just sit here and think about it. So we have a few books over there. If you want them, take one, read it, and there's phone numbers of your legislators. There's phone numbers in there of the Pelosi's, the president, and what he said was correct. The Auto Task Forum, I've got a letter over there from Terry Geithner. It's not worth the paper it was written on. He said he would make us part of the auto team. That part of the auto team we wanted to see in that letter he sent to me was this group here. Not making the head of AT&T the new director now, not making Steve Miller, who took down after Battenberg, Delphi. That's the biggest joke in the world. There was no penalties to these people. So what you have to do is a little research. Talk to the kid down the street or a college student. Tell them what you have to do today and get it done. Does that make sense to any of you?
Yeah.
Okay. And so we're going to try to do a documentary about you in the future. I know. Everybody does documentaries. Everybody writes books. But if you want to be part of that, step over to where the Toledo guys from Chrysler have been working very hard and give your name and address and your fax number or whatever number you want to give us, and we'll see if we can't help you.
In these latest negotiations that included the government, the UAW has been effectively decertified. Why I say that is, in the next set of negotiations, in 2011, it has been agreed in this contract that if the union members do not agree to wages and benefits equal to the non-union plants, that the contract will go to an arbitrator and he will decide based on parity with the non-union plants. The UAW really doesn't have a negotiating position anymore. The rank and file members will be allowed to vote, but if they don't vote right, then it'll go to the arbitrator and they will get the non-union standard. If the union cannot negotiate for better than a non-union standard, it does not have a reason to exist. Union members don't have a reason to pay union dues. Also, the non-union plants like Toyota, while initially when they came here, they set their wages and benefits at a scale high enough to discourage organizing. They no longer have to meet that benchmark. Toyota will reduce its compensation to hourly employees. It will reduce the wages and benefits because there's nothing to stop them. And the UAW in 2 years will have to meet that. The UAW should not have agreed to this. Of all things, the UAW should have said, no, we have to, we cannot eliminate ourselves as the representative of the workers. But they have agreed to.
My name is Matt Slade. I'm a shop chairman at General Motors in Ypsilanti for service parts operations. What we're trying to do is reach out, grab the American public's attention, and try and get the American public to understand that right now is the time to get educated. Right now is the time to get involved and let our government know that it's no longer acceptable to let Wall Street run our government. We need to take it back to grassroots. We need to get to where the American public is running this government. A good case in point is our trade agreements. Our trade agreements not only with NAFTA, but in 2001 when China entered the WTO, the World Trade Organization, this country has gone downhill. If we continue on the path that we're on, we will no longer have jobs for our children. We'll have no longer jobs or a future for our country. So we just want people to get educated, get involved, start speaking to their government, start coming out here at the streets, and start letting people know how they feel and take action to make a difference in this country. This is history being made, and we have to do it.